I remember last you were supposed to be here. You went to Wimbledon.
Yes, Wimbledon center court front row tickets. That was wonderful.
So what brought you back to India from these dream destinations? I mean, Purdue, Germany, UK.
At that time, because there were reasons to come back to India, family, my wife who was then my girlfriend.
So your early life, we can say your passion was theatre. I think the world came to you because of theatre.
और 2016 में इन लोग सबने दिवाली वाले दिन मुझे बिठाया and then they told me that you're out of theatrician. While technically I was the president of theatrician, मुझे निकाल दिया गया because they said that you're not contributing to theatre.
How do you get good talent attracted to these places?
हम लोग एक्चुअली टीचर्स बोलना हमने छोड़ दिया. जो भी स्कूल सिस्टम में काम करते हैं वो एजुकेटर है. We strongly believe that educator development is non-negotiable.
Scaling up is the most difficult aspect, right?
If I keep the child at the center of the teaching learning process, what does the child need to become the best version of themselves? Not a version of what I want, but what she, he, they want to be. That is more important.
How do you measure success for your schools?
The key criteria is
Hi, this is Ankur Vora, Intersect by Masters Union podcast series. Today we have with us Mr. Kanak Gupta, the director at Seth M.R. Jaipuria's group of schools. Kanak, what an honor to have you here with us.
Thank you so much for having me here. And I know I've been dodging you for a while now, but I'm so happy to be finally having a coffee with you over a podcast and not just catching up.
Yeah, it has been a long time coming. I remember last you were supposed to be here. You went to Wimbledon in London.
Yes, Wimbledon center court front row tickets. That was wonderful. Yeah, we talked when I was there.
And I remember telling you, I can wait. That is an opportunity that is to be treasured. So I'm sure you had a great time there. But I'm so happy that now we are here and we are going to have a conversation about your own impactful career till now and the way it has shaped up. So looking forward to our conversation.
Looking forward as well.
So Kanak, we have recorded almost 30 plus podcast here. As I was sharing with you, it's been a year-long journey for us. We have hosted educationists, we have hosted corporate people, and we have hosted entrepreneurs on this podcast series. The idea remains that we before we dive into your professional lives, we also want to know more about your own personal journey to the place that you are right now holding. Not only the chair, but the designation, the organizations that you have built, the lives you have impacted. But before we dive into that, we would love to know a bit more about Kanak that you may not have an opportunity to share at multiple conferences that you go to and multiple conferences and panels that you are part of. तो कुछ ऐसी चीजें जो कोई नहीं जानता, but this podcast will become that medium to understand how was Kanak growing up, which city he grew up in, which school he went to, some of those early years of your life, college, your family values. So over to you, Kanak.
Sure. Congratulations. एक साल तक podcast करना अपने आप में, it's a very, very big task, and my best compliments that this continues for a long time. I'm so happy to see some of my friends and contemporaries on this podcast. It's inspiring also, and it's very overwhelming that some real legends from our fraternity have been on this chair and they've done so well. But congratulations आपको और Masters Union को for this initiative. So my journey started in Calcutta. I'm born and brought up in Calcutta. My family has been in Calcutta for the last 80 odd years. Okay. And my great grandfather migrated from UP, from Aligarh to Calcutta 80 years ago. And he set up industries over there, a lot of work done back home in Aligarh as well. But I am born and brought up in Calcutta. I am a Xavier's boy. I was a good student. I think I was good with a lot of things. Like, I really enjoyed theatre. I enjoyed sports. I've enjoyed playing all sports. I still love watching all sports. I try to play a bit more now. Music and everything has been a big part of my life. And the reason I'm saying this is that this connects me to the next part of my life, which was I was doing a lot of theatre. Theatrician is a company that I founded in grade 11. And we were awarded, recognized. पहली बार फॉरेन ट्रिप थिएट्रिशियन के वजह से लगी थी. BBC 4 ने बुलाया था लंदन में इंटरव्यू करने के लिए. एंड इसलिए इंटरव्यू करना था क्योंकि मैंने क्लास 11 में जब थिएट्रिशियन फाउंड की थी विद 3 of my closest friends, हम लोगों का डिसीजन ये था दैट थिएटर बहुत गरीब माना जाता है कि पैसे तो होते नहीं है इसमें. सो let us look at it as to how it can become a viable career option. And we started producing plays, started paying actors, which was unheard of at that time at the theater level. And I got a call from Purdue University. They said that, we like your profile and everything. Would you like to do an MBA? And I said that, no. So then they said that we'll give you scholarship. And I said that, okay, let me just have a word with my parents. And I told my dad and mom, and my parents have had businesses in India. Both of them have passed away now, but our industries were there for air conditioning, advertising ki company alag thi. So my dad said, great opportunity, go to the US. And I was like, okay, great. So, I went to the US and I started enjoying. And then I had gone to Germany for an exchange program with Purdue. I found job as a consultant with British American Tobacco.
Yeah, I saw that on your LinkedIn. Yeah.
So British American Tobacco में 1.5 साल रहे. वहाँ पर I supported them with recruitment strategy, branding strategy, a venture capitalist, and this is all serendipity, right? Like, I never planned all of this.
Let's take a pause here. So your early life, we can say your passion was theater.
Yeah.
And theater led you to UK and opened doors to Purdue for you for the MBA program. And so I think the world came to you because of theater. Can we be right in assuming that? And that is what interesting profile. जब मैं आपकी LinkedIn पढ़ रहा था तो वही मैंने theatrics करके एक आपका करियर में था सेक्शन में theatrician करके. So I said यार Kanak is into theater, मुझे नहीं पता था. And he has been there for many years. I think 20 साल तक तो वो था कि 20 साल से ये कर रहे हैं theater. तो
2001 में फाउंड हुआ था.
ओके.
और
एंड इट वाज आपने कहा ग्रेड 11 में एज अ स्कूल फ्रेंड्स गेटिंग टुगेदर एंड स्टार्टिंग दिस कंपनी. सो इट्स स्टिल एग्जिस्टिंग.
बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग चीज है. सो 2016 में three of my closest friends and then my wife also became a part of it since college. और 2016 में इन लोग सबने दिवाली वाले दिन मुझे बिठाया and then they told me that you're out of theatrician. You're not contributing anything. Okay. So while technically I was the president of theatrician, मुझे निकाल दिया गया because they said that you're not contributing to theater. So yeah. So that's.
तो अभी आप हैं theatrician में नहीं है?
Theatrician में technically तो हैं पर अभी contribute नहीं कर रहे. इस साल का मतलब make or break है. I have written my most latest script. It's a take on जावेद अख्तर साहब मैं आज़ाद हूँ. So hopefully 2026 में उसको प्रोड्यूस करेंगे.
हरे कृष्णा. बहुत अच्छा, सुंदर. सो नाउ कमिंग टू योर जर्नी विद पर्ड्यू एंड यू सेड अमेरिकन टोबैको कंपनी इन जर्मनी एंड देन आई सॉ यूके आल्सो. यू वर देयर. सो टेल what was the experience like at Purdue, one of the leading universities in the world, being there at for an MBA? I'm sure it would have been an experience. You want to reflect on that?
Sure. So everything that I have, my school and my college and my university has shaped me in a big way because we talk about it, right? Giving opportunities to students. I got those opportunities. So I found it very hard to believe that, a lot of people, when they say that, school mein, college mein, wo opportunities nahi mili. Maybe I was lucky. Maybe I had that family background as well. My grandfather had a major role to play. He's a very, very well-known poet. Okay. So unka bahut bada influence raha. But Purdue was a great experience. Xavier's was an unbelievably good experience.
Xavier's is itself a very well established and a reputed college. बहुत बढ़िया alumni है. So I'm one of them. You also, but I've met others also, very successful people. So great colleges you went to.
So Xavier सुबह 5:50 पे जाते थे. 9 बजे तक पढ़ना होता था.
And then I think it is also learn by doing model. फिर उसके बाद आप अपना business.
All day you could do anything you wanted to. So
I think I hosted Arjun Seth. He is also from Xavier's. I remember having this conversation early on in this podcast series where he spoke about this model of Xavier's. First half you go to college and then you can go and work in the real world.
And in the real world, our college encouraged us. Like, you speak to anyone from St. Xavier's, they will tell you, our real learning happened at the green benches. Our real learning happened at Bada Bazaar in Calcutta. Very hard place to learn negotiation, communication. बहुत tough है. So the journey from there to Purdue
So the immediately after Xavier's, you went to Purdue?
Yeah.
Sida. And theater was a key element here.
So my friends and my wife, उनको जिम्मेदारी दी गई कि आप करिए, हम स्क्रिप्ट लिखेंगे, और so they were running it.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow. So then Purdue happened, and then your, early corporate career, if I can term it like that, in Germany and UK. I'm sure, given the personality you have, you were doing well there. So what brought you back to India from these dream destinations? I mean, Purdue, Germany, UK. I mean, and those years. I'm not talking current years, but those years that you would have been in these countries. I mean, everybody was running off. So what brought you back?
So I was working in London. After British American Tobacco, I moved to London with a venture capitalist, and this is Ellis Fairbank. It was a boutique strategy firm. So बहुत अच्छा consulting का काम ना, हम लोग हमेशा बोलते हैं we are glorified PowerPoint and Excel sheet makers. But it was a good work, and the company got acquired, and because I had some stake, we all made a lot of money as well, and at that time, because there were reasons to come back to India, family, my wife, who was then my girlfriend, she was studying at IMCAL, and theater would bring me back to India, and I would do workshops with a lot of schools and colleges. So Hamara College St. Xavier's hua, you name it, including IIT Gandhinagar. It had come up. The first orientation of IIT Gandhinagar I have done, actually. And I would go conduct workshops. And उस समय, like you said, सबको लगता था कि यार लंदन, and I used to think that बहुत कमी है यहाँ पर, and अंदर में एक कीड़ा होता है ना, that I want to solve a big problem, and I realized that our school education is good, our college education is not so good, and our higher ed after that masters is needing a little more impetus, and I was younger, probably stupider. And I said to some leading professors at a conference that, India में education की problem बहुत ज़्यादा है. So Professor Atul Tandon at MICA, he actually said that, London में बैठ के ये सारी बातें करना कनक बहुत आसान है. Come back to India. Take it up, pick up the mantle. And I was like, that's very interesting. So in the transition, I had just gotten married as well. And I told Priyanka, my wife, that, we're not going to go to London. I'm thinking about doing this. She was like, she was anyways running her own ventures. So she was like, it's your decision. I can do it from wherever. And it is that serendipity where I bumped into the Jaipuria family. And I said that I want to do this. And they said that, we are thinking of expansion, setting up management institutes. So Jaipuria family has been in education for 8 decades.
Oh, wow.
And not 8 decades, 8 generations.
8 generations.
Yeah. And they said that, we are thinking of setting up a massive campus in Indore. So what do you think? And I was like, let's do something new, experiential learning over there. उस समय Zuckerberg जी ने बोला ही था कि Facebook आने वाला है, and they are opening it up to the world. I said social media is going to be the next big thing that we need to bet on. And I stayed in Indore. So from London, instead of going back to Cal, I actually went to Indore. Yeah.
And then you set up the Jaipuria Institute of Management, Indore.
Yeah. 3 years I was there. So 1 साल लगा उसको establish करने में, 2 साल रहे वहाँ पर.
And you were offering masters, MBA programs. Okay.
Yeah. So I taught. I was running student affairs. I was running admissions. I was like, running the campus completely. And after a couple of years.
So from London to Indore, from consulting to education. I mean, what a transition. So you really followed Professor Tandon's advice and came back to India and got your hands dirty, got going with the education. So that was your passion.
As an edupreneur, I genuinely believe you have to get your hands dirty. You have to speak to everyone who you are working with at the ground level. So be it the student, be it the faculty, be it parents, you have to understand. And सबको लगता है ना पढ़ाई करना कराना बहुत simple होता है. It's one of the toughest things, but the most fulfilling things a person can ever do. But for me, management education, I thought it was ठीक है. मतलब I wanted to do something bigger. I wanted to solve a bigger problem. And around 2012 end is when we said that कुछ नया करना चाहिए.
So I think that is where we come to the impact that we want to talk about more here, the Seth M.R. Jaipuria Schools story. And I recently read your really nice LinkedIn post. We're celebrating with that blurry picture of that press briefing that you were having.
February
And
2014,
when
yeah.
you mentioned, from 1 to 60 schools, from ideas to 55,000 plus students and 3,000 plus educators, from a tiny core team to 100 plus at corporate, from just schools to multiple thriving verticals, training, audits, branding, LMS, recruitment, events, communication, AI products, and more. Wow. So tell us, I mean, this journey, what keeps you going? Before we get into what keeps you going, the early years. So please, I mean, how did this happen? The Seth M.R. Jaipuria, and you mentioned, how tier two India deserved high quality education. Please, we want to hear this story.
Great. I'm so glad that you went through that post in so much detail. It's great. Very well done on the research as well. So in 2012-13, we decided that we are going to impact tier 2, tier 3 India, and we are going to do this through schooling. Why tier 2, tier 3 India? इसके पीछे दो कारण हैं. When we used to do sort of our expansion work for the MBA admissions as well, we realized that a lot of students come from these places. And then when we would talk to them, they would tell us about their schooling. And as to, I found that there was a discord because I would talk so highly about my own school. And they would be like, school mein kuch hua nahi. So we realized that there's an opportunity there.
Which school you went to in Calcutta?
So I went to MP Birla, I went to
Birla.
Assembly of God, and I went to St. Xavier's.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yes,
So,
please.
so yeah.
So you had great experience at your schooling, and then when you were speaking to these kids, they were like, "Kuch nahi hota hai school se." Acha.
Haan. And I got all opportunities to be on stage, to do chapel service, to do bhajan kirtan also, to participate in student rallies also. हम लोग हर साल बॉम्बे जाते थे एक महीने के लिए. Xavier's would send us that उनका festival हो रहा है Xavier's बॉम्बे में मल्हार, you participate in that.
Okay.
So that's the kind of agency that we got from our institution.
For a month. Wow.
For a month.
Badhiya. What experience. Again, what we speak about Masters Union, I mean, in class, out class, learning by doing, being in the real world. So, I mean, those institutions were enabling that for you, and that really shaped you up. So, great. So, that was one of your motivations.
Yeah, so that was the trigger point that we realized. And second, when you start a new venture, you speak to all the consultants. Me coming from the consultancy background, I thought that yahi sahi ek decision hoga. So all the consultants told us that let's start schools in big cities and where the fee point will be higher. But that's not a problem to solve. There's a problem of oversupply in a Delhi, Gurgaon, in Bombay, Bangalore,
metro cities.
In metro cities. So I'll tell you how dumb we were. We thought that हम लोग tier 2 में set up करेंगे और हमारी definition of tier 2 was Lucknow and Jaipur and Patna.
Okay.
And we said that यही छोटे शहर होते हैं हिंदुस्तान के. And I remember that everyone in the fraternity that you and I know, they all told me that बहुत अच्छी बात है कलकत्ता के बनिया मारवाड़ी लंदन में रहे पले बड़े and you will work in tier 2 tier 3 cities. And I said that let's try figure out. And we thought that Lucknow is a small city. The big transition moment came when I drove myself from Lucknow to Barabanki to Ayodhya to Gorakhpur to Salempur, Siwan, Bihar. And I saw the potential of India. I realized that the bulk of growth will come from tier 2, tier 3 cities. These are wonderful locations. It's just that they don't have the quality institutions that these places deserve.
Yeah.
The aspiration level of students, parents at these places is phenomenally high. It's so good. And these places have heart. These places have aspiration. These places have so much hard work as well. I said, I've fallen in love with India. At that time, I still used to think that at some point we'll go back to London. Now I have no aspiration of going anywhere. If you put a dot anywhere in the world, I would work only and only in the places where I work.
And I resonate with this. I read a book, Middle of Diamond India, by Dr. Shashank Maniji, who is the MP from Devariya. And I went to Jagriti Yatra 2 years back, and I heard him speak in an auditorium in Mumbai with 1,000 plus youngsters like us, and we were all enthralled. And his premise is this: what you are saying, that he says that if India has to develop, it cannot happen in the colonial way of only focusing on metro cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, and Bangalore. It has to develop in the tier 2, tier 3 cities. And he says how India is shaped like a diamond. and if you don't work in the middle of the diamond, the idea of Viksit Bharat that we are going with 2047 will be tough ask. So I'm so happy that you are already working on that idea and you're executing it brilliantly. So you traveled all the way from Lucknow to Siwan and all these places that we only hear about
So
in the
growing up,
media.
I did not know there was a city called Bahraich. I did not
Yeah.
know there was a city called Lakhimpur Kheri, Gonda. I did not know these places were
बिल्कुल
there.
बिल्कुल और आई कैन ओनली इमेजिन आप आ रहे हैं लंदन से और फिर आप यहाँ चल रहे हैं और जा रहे हैं और आज का भी नहीं इंडिया है ये तब का इंडिया है जब 13 साल ऐसा कोई रोड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर भी तब इतना डेवलप नहीं था अब तो काफ़ी डेवलपमेंट हुआ है लास्ट कुछ ईयर्स में सो ग्रेट सो यू फोकस्ड ऑन टीयर 2 and you said I want to go to tier 2 and we are going to build high quality institutions in these cities. Great. So, what were the first few institutions that you set up? कौन से शहरों आपने काम करना शुरू किया?
So we started with Lucknow, Banaras, Barabanki, Ayodhya. These were the initial few, and we realized that the biggest problem is that with talent. How do you attract people to go there? How do you sustain all of that? So you mentioned that we have an entire range of businesses now. We realized to sustain the school at a smaller city, you need to build the ecosystem around it. टीचर का डेवलपमेंट भी करना है, उनको कंफर्टेबल लिविंग स्पेसेस भी देने हैं, उनकी ग्रोथ के बारे में भी आपको सोचना है. स्टूडेंट्स को वन ऑफ माई फेवरेट वर्ड्स इज एक्सेस. स्टूडेंट को आपको एक्सेस देना पड़ेगा टू हाई क्वालिटी लर्निंग. It's not everyone who would have access to technology, to institutions. Very stereotypically speaking, a person living in Gorakhpur will look at Lucknow. A person living in Lucknow will look at New Delhi. A person living in New Delhi will look at London. I think technology has democratized that so much that people in Gorakhpur probably are doing better than people in London.
Absolutely. Technology has been a great enabler, and especially since pandemic, when people realize that work can go on even from wherever city you are in, and you are very well connected, and work from home, and technology started integrating in our lives. I think that has been a good benefit, and so I mean, I want to go back to one of your points you raised. How do you get good talent attracted to these places? Because it is 2026, but still, I mean, attracting good teachers even in Delhi or Mumbai is a challenge. And when I meet so many of the principals, they all tell me, "Yaar, अच्छा teacher नहीं मिलते यार." So what is the secret sauce for you? How do you attract and then retain and then keep on training them? How does that work? If you can share.
So, we believe that development of teachers, educators, हम लोग एक्चुअली टीचर्स बोलना हमने छोड़ दिया. जो भी स्कूल सिस्टम में काम करते हैं वो एजुकेटर हैं.
Okay.
So, because there is a direct touch point with students.
Okay.
We strongly believe that educator development is non-negotiable. It is not the mandate only. The new education policy, CBSE, ICSE के जितने भी takes हैं, that's a starting point of reforms. That's not the end point of reform. You have to understand what does the teacher want, what kind of packages can they get, what is their learning need, and there is no limit to it. We don't box the teachers that आप क्लास 5 के फिजिक्स के टीचर हो तो वही पढ़ाओगे
टीजीटी पीजीटी वो जो ग्रेड्स रहते हैं और वहीं पे रहना पड़ता फिर उसको.
We've reversed a few of, or we are trying to reverse few of the things. Typically in India, the pre-primary teacher is the least paid. It's not aspirational.
बिल्कुल.
We said that we have to make it aspirational.
Wow, you have done that? Wow. Because I remember, I'm a faculty at OP Jindal Global University, and from 2018 to 2021, I was the director for admissions and outreach, and we used to run teacher training programs. And one of my mentors at that point of time, who I used to travel with, Dr. Sanjeev P. Sani, who has conducted I think thousands of teacher training programs. He used to start his teacher training programs with this. He used to say, I don't like it that your pre-primary teachers are the least paid. They should be paid the most because they are working with the key ingredient, the foundation years of a child. Absolutely. They are spending the most. I mean, it is easier for me as a child grows up, and when he comes to the university, it's easier to teach than what I have to do with the kindergarten kid. I am so happy that you are resonating with it.
So every human being has about 30 emotions every minute. Now imagine a school teacher with 40 students is dealing with kids who are hyperactive. The kind of emotions the teacher deals with is unbelievable. I have so much respect for anyone who's in a classroom. It's so easy for me to sit in an office because they are on the front line. They are dealing with it every single day. और उसके बाद हम और आप ये भी बोलते हैं that ERP भी पूरा भरो, report card भी पूरे लिखो. There's so many administrative tasks. So we've not taken it away fully, but we are trying to make sure that the teacher does not have a lot of administrative tasks. The teachers focus on their development. The teachers focus on the students' growth and development. Hopefully, in about 5 years' time, we will have redone assessments altogether. Do you know this year I actually announced it? Stop giving 100% attendance awards. Yeah.
अच्छा अच्छा हाँ वो देते हैं जो
स्कूल में देते हैं and it's just so painful. मतलब if I want to take a day off, ये बात नहीं है कि मेरे को बीमार होने का अधिकार है. If I don't want to go to school, I just want to sit at home and watch cricket. So be it.
So be it. Thank you so much for saying that. मुझे भी समझ नहीं आता था कि यार ये जो चीज़ें होती हैं 100% अटेंडेंस कई बार एंड टीचिंग इज सच अ एज यू हैव राइटली आइडेंटिफाइड it takes so much energy to be your best every day, and you deserve to be at your best because your students deserve to not have a bad day. And if you are having a bad day, it is better that you are not in the classroom than be in the classroom and ruin the teaching experience for 30 or 40 other kids in the class. Thank you so much.
Yeah, teaching is a great performing art.
Yes,
and
it is.
You have to perform every single day.
Excellent. बिल्कुल सही बात है. I mean, as a fresh teacher for last 1 year, I've been teaching. I have realized this. Teaching is also theater. You have to play your role. It is not only about the knowledge or the content. It is also the delivery of how you are able to engage with each and everyone in your class and ensure that the learning happens not only on the blackboard that you have written it down or the whiteboard or whatever you want to show, but everybody in the class has to be resonating with what you are trying to say, and it's your job as a teacher to ensure that that happens in the classroom. So thank you, Kanak. Sorry, you want to say something?
Yeah, and the thing is that, technically we always talk about it, that there are higher order learners and lower order learners. Like, this happens in real life as well. You will meet people who are not at the same learning level as you. Their empathy would be very different. So for us, it's important that you focus on it. Matlab, we talk about it very openly. We are one of the few school chains. Since day one, we've been talking about teacher development, educator development. We've been talking about engaging with parents. We've been sustainability or communication. These are things that are imbibed into our students from day one. Those things make a lot of difference.
Yeah, तो मज़ा आ रहा है आपसे बात करके कि I mean those things that we only talk about in probably some conferences in nice 5-star hotels, but we lack the execution of it. It is now in executed at your organization. That's why the growth, right? We have from 1 to 60 schools, 55,000 plus students. That's phenomenal growth. And then एक चीज़ इसी पे related है. I mean, how do you achieve this growth with an emphasis on quality, compromise na ho, scaling with quality? I'm sure you will have some systems and processes that you would have put in place to ensure that this growth is also not at the cost of quality, because education scaling up is the most difficult aspect, right? I mean, so please let's talk about how are you tackling this issue at Jaipuria?
So scaling at quality is the reason what attracted me to come back to India and work in education. I think my own learning gave me a lot of engagement and experience. I think I learned a lot about systems when I lived in Germany specifically and in London. I think India taught me a lot of resilience. India taught me a lot of agility. Theatre also taught me a lot of agility. And I think combining all of that, I always thought about it that if I keep the child at the center of the teaching learning process, what does the child need to become the best version of themselves? Not a version of what I want, but what they want to be. That is more important. How do I engage all the stakeholders? लोगों को बहुत बुरा लगता है word stakeholders, but it's important to use that word. What does every stakeholder want? What does every stakeholder contribute to the education system? So we started thinking about all of that, and we realized that there has to be a marriage between people and technology. You can't isolate. You can't look at only numbers and judge people, or you can't make people more important. मेरे office के wall पे there's a big poster. I'll send you a picture. It says I am inconsequential. And I genuinely believe that I have to be absolutely inconsequential to everything. If your organization needs heroics every single day or every single week, you are firefighting every single day. That
Yeah.
means essentially you're not building processes. For scaling up, you need to be very boring. You have to make processes that happen on their own. You have to be agile with innovation, but ultimately you have to do the boring stuff. But so while we set up a lot of processes, we listen to the stakeholders, we get their feedback. We are an organization that is not shy about sharing. In the last 5 years, 6 years, the education fraternity has come so close. I think we all talk to each other, and I am infamous for not having a password on my laptop. मेरे मतलब जो ATM पिन वगैरह होते हैं, famously everyone knows, including our house lock का password. So many people know, and like I genuinely believe in transparency. I trust people. I trust everyone. And that I think as a culture has percolated in the organization as well. But processes, we've understood that, replicable processes for scale, that is the most important thing. And the ability to understand what every stakeholder wants, and the ability to be agile, change as per the needs of the situation is important. Every school in India has its own personality. Every city in India is very different to the other. If you don't innovate on basis of what the city wants, the school wants, you're doing something wrong. We strongly believe that good ideas can come from anywhere. और आते हैं.
हाँ बिल्कुल.
I am not the person who's going to come up with all good ideas. I come up with the worst of the ideas. But I am blessed to be surrounded by some of the best people around.
Wonderful. God bless you. More power to you. एक और क्वेश्चन है इसी से रिलेटेड. 60 स्कूल्स हैं आपके, और अभी आप बोल रहे थे यू आर नाउ आल्सो ग्रोइंग, मोर स्कूल्स आर बीइंग एडेड, एंड हाउ डू यू मेजर सक्सेस फॉर योर स्कूल्स? आई मीन व्हाट इज दो सक्सेस मेट्रिक्स दैट यू हैव? ये स्कूल अच्छा कर रहा है, ये स्कूल यहाँ पे इम्प्रूवमेंट चाहिए. I mean, generally, when we talk about schools, it is always about how many students got into medical, IIT और CBSE के टॉपर कहाँ से आए या नहीं आए. तो आपके यहाँ कुछ metrics different हैं या थोड़ा सा?
So we follow a lot of what everyone does, right? Like, we would like to measure success of students in terms of their performances in events, activities. So we are an event management company now. We do about 16 events a year.
Okay.
Nationally. So because we are across 6 states, it makes a lot of sense to do it nationally to give students the right kind of opportunities. So the joke is that, we've become an event management company, we've become a social media company, all of that. But so yeah, we track student success as well. But that is not the key criteria. For us, the key criteria is retention of students. In education system, because education is a 5-kilometer radius game, and it works primarily on word of mouth. हम लोग कितनी भी branding कर लेना,
बिल्कुल.
it's a word of mouth as to what your stakeholders are
talking about you.
So we do track retention, and we try to solve those problems. We are looking at it as to, so there are student profiling, which is done. We track where the student is and in their journey where they are going. Those videos are also made. There is reflection that is done. We have a reflection chronicle where students write their thoughts, feelings, etc. We look at it when the school counselor tells us that the number of sort of off cases keep coming down. We track that how can we support the student and the counselor at that. But retention is the biggest one.
Retention is the biggest metric for you.
Marks is not as big.
Well, great. I'm happy to hear that. Finally, I mean, I have a couple of things that I want to. Your lived experience. You have now set up 60 schools and 6 states you mentioned. I'm sure कुछ ऐसे experiences भी रहे होंगे जो अब आपको थोड़ा sense of humor की बात भी करते हैं, तो थोड़ा सा जो आपको अब हंसी आती है वो सोच के कि वो उस टाइम पे आपने कुछ करी थी, तो उस टाइम पे वो इतनी बड़ा इशू था, बट आप when you look back it was just a very small part of your journey. I mean, maybe some setbacks that you had or some success, early success that you had, that आपका ये thought था कि ऐसा करेंगे तो ऐसा होगा, but वो हुआ नहीं और उससे बेहतर चीज़ निकली, तो थोड़ा सा उस पर अगर आप बात कर पाएँ.
So I think the journey, every entrepreneur would have this, right? Like, when you set up a business plan, उस समय Excel sheet पे तो सब कुछ अच्छा लगता है.
वही
And everyone thinks that ये तो बहुत आसान काम होता है. I realized this pretty early on that you have to get your hands dirty. There is no other way to work. You have to make sure that you communicate that well. We've had a lot of setbacks. Every single day, every single week, you have to think about, reflect on it, that I've made those mistakes, I've learned, and I don't go back to those mistakes again. That is the important bit for us. When we set up these schools, every school has a great story. Every single school, be it with the labor, with the architect, with getting the first admission in, in India traditionally, there will be some ritual, some puja done, for starting off of an institution. We've had cases where some unfortunately asthmatic student has sat in the Havan, and we would realize that, okay, this is so stupid. Why are we exposing? I founded My Right to Breathe, which is on air pollution. But I realize is that, while I'm talking about it on television about air pollution, why am I subjecting my children to Havan? So we stopped doing that. Those have also been learnings. That has defined culture. Everyone told us that there has to be a lot of foreign languages at your schools. And initially we said that, French bhi padhayenge, German bhi padhayenge. But then when we went back to our sanskar and our Sanskriti, we are the only school that teaches Sanskrit from nursery all the way to grade 8.
God bless you. Hare Krishna. बहुत सुंदर.
So that's a very, very big
नर्सरी
thing.
से शुरू कर देते हैं संस्कृत. बहुत बढ़िया.
Conversation Sanskrit. Please come to the school, any of our schools for the annual day. You will, मुझे समझ में नहीं आती है Sanskrit, but you will see kids performing plays in Sanskrit.
Wow.
Which is something very big.
What unique aspects about your institution?
But, every single experience has a funny side to it. Very famously, we allow everyone to make mistakes and we laugh about it very openly, that because, so as always, I am the butt of all the jokes at all the schools, at all the offices. I am the butt of all jokes, and I'm happy about it. That please pull my leg. I can take a joke and whatever. That's given a lot of confidence to the people who work with us, who are with us, including our students. When they talk to us, they know that over here I have a canvas and I can fail.
Perfect. Final question. We are sitting at Masters Union. We are all about learn by doing. What is your take on what we are trying to build here?
First of all, heartiest congratulations to Masters Union. I think what you guys are doing and what you have achieved in a short span of time is highly impressive. Heartiest congratulations. I've had some interaction with Masters Union. I think I was telling you, my daughter Sarah, she participated
recently Sarah was here. Yes, tell us a little bit about her own experience at Masters Union.
Yeah, so she participated in the high school startup league. आप लोगों ने उसको पैसे भी दिए, so she came home with the big check.
Congratulations. I'm sure she is very bright. Yeah.
She's obnoxious.
I'm sure.
Yeah. All teenagers are obnoxious, and I see that. But I was happy about the experience given to her, the exposure. What we liked was that the expectation from the student was there to perform, but a day prior, you set the training programs for the students, not intimidating them. So when they finally presented to the people who made the decisions, this is what she tells me. She was not overwhelmed at all.
She was well prepared.
She was well prepared. So great, so that is a great example of learning by experience.
Nothing is better than, your own kid who has been at Masters Union and has had a good time. More power to her, more power to Sarah. And we hope that she continues coming back to Masters Union. And we have more experiences with helping her find her way. I'm sure she is a budding entrepreneur. She has already got investment. तो जो उनका idea है उसमें और काम करने की जरूरत होगी तो we are always here.
Yeah, so she's running something called ATI. It's called Autism
Please
Theatre
talk
Initiative.
about that.
Yeah, Autism Theatre Initiative, where she's trying to solve for in schools there are a lot of students who would be under the spectrum, but we theoretically हम करते हैं उसके लिए काम शायद बहुत जगह अच्छा काम भी कर रहे हैं, like her own school, the Shri Ram school, which is just across the road
Yeah,
here.
Mulsari.
Yeah, Mulsari. Like, that they're doing a great job trying to support students under the spectrum. But she's using theater to build communication skills. And very interestingly, now she's gotten AI into it. See, AI से body movement, etc. So, like I said, she's obnoxious. So, अब उसको लग रहा है कि हाँ मैं यही करूँ, मैं कॉलेज क्यों जाऊँ? So,
बिल्कुल सही जगह है मास्टर्स यूनियन ऐसे बच्चे के लिए. That is a master's union kid. You will. So I'm so happy to hear her thoughts. I'm sure she will be back here then in that case. But Kanak, thank you so much for taking time out.
no, thank you so much for having me over, and congratulations once again. I really enjoyed the conversation, and the coffee was very good.
Thank you so much. I'm happy that you enjoyed. Thank you.
Thanks.